What's on, everyone? Jeremy here from The Quartering, and the man just keeps winning. That's right. Corrupt, in my opinion, Judge Merchan has now adjourned Trump's November 26th sentencing for his 34 bologna sausage criminal charges. They lost again. I'm just going to give you a second to leave a like on this video because, this is, again, all this proves is exactly what we all knew. They never intended this to be a real trial. It was complete garbage. By the way, you can celebrate with our Quartering Christmas cookbook, which has 50 different hilarious meme-tastic recipes in it. Tiny Tim's sticky horseshoe sandwich, Insiders fighting for Insider, Cornflake was a bad dude casserole, so many more. Christmas bathtub greens, a threat to our Dumas cookies, and we have our summer edition, both back up for sale, limited time only. Makes a perfect gift for you, someone you love. The office gift Christmas party promo code. Well, no promo code, actually. Go on over to tailgates4trump.com/store. Link in the description. Judge Merchan adjourns Trump sentencing in hush money case. Judge Merchan delays Trump sentencing after his election win as prosecutors now evaluate the impact on hush money case. That means it's over. They now have 7 days to try and they're just dragging this out, but it's done. It's over. This decision follows recent electoral victory over Vice President Kamala Harris, leaving the case's future in question. Prosecutors were expected to inform the judge on Tuesday whether the criminal case involving falsified business records allegedly should proceed or sentencing should be dismissed. Trump's legal team has pushed for dismissal, which obviously they should do, citing the electoral win as a complicating factor. The Manhattan District Attorney's Office had opposed this request, but asked Merchan to delay his ruling to evaluate the case's viability post-election. There is none. You're not convicting a president-elect. You shouldn't have been bringing this ridiculous case in the first place, and the libs are melting down again. Trump was convicted in May of 34 felony charges on falsifying business records. The charges stem from a $130,000 payment made to Michael Cohen to allegedly Stormy Daniels before the 2016 election. Merchan granted the DA's office just 1 week to assess the situation. If the case proceeds, Trump's sentencing could be delayed until after he leaves the White House in over 4 years. Prosecutors have indicated that any potential jail sentence would not be served during his presidency. 2 separate federal cases against Trump are also expected to be dismissed, given his ability to influence the Department of Justice, which traditionally does not prosecute sitting presidents, which this leaves Trump's legal fate uncertain, but significantly impacted by the return to his White House. This is from, the New York Post last night. Manhattan District Attorney Alvin Bragg will decide whether to delay the sentencing for Donald Trump after his conviction on charges for hush money. The prosecutor could move to pause the sentencing, which is what they did today, for concealing a payoff. Bragg could also push to dismiss the case entirely. They will dismiss the case in a week. Manhattan Supreme Court Justice loser Juan Merchan would have to approve the prosecutor's plan before it goes into effect. Either scenario would mean that Trump would retake the presidency largely unscathed by the 4 criminal cases that one time threatened to derail his candidacy. Merchan is also expected to rule Tuesday on whether to scrap May's verdict on July's U.S. Supreme Court ruling immunizing the president of official acts taken in process. This was corruption and on its highest order. You see Juan Merchan, the crooked judge overseeing Trump's president's hush money trial in New York City, has just adjourned Trump's November 26th sentencing case. It's over. No conviction. His family, of course, took millions of dollars from Democrats in Congress.
This case. Not only that, the judge's daughter, Lauren Merchan, is the president of a political advocacy group called Authentic Campaigns, whose clients include the Biden-Harris campaign.
Oops.
Just so you understand, the judge's daughter makes millions of dollars working on campaigns against Donald Trump. Here's the website. On the website, it claims the company raised $562 million. This is a major financial incentive by the judge to convict Donald Trump.
I would argue I agree.
Not only that, the judge's wife worked for New York Attorney General Letitia James.
Oops.
The Epoch Times reported that they had reviewed records that show the wife, Laura Merchant, worked for 21 years as special assistant to the Attorney General, including 3 years under Letitia James. She changed jobs 2 years ago. That means the wife worked for Letitia James during the period that Letitia James was building her case against Donald Trump.
Oops.
Is it just me? Or does this seem like corruption to anyone else? This is insane. I have never seen a judge more compromised than this judge. His wife is working against Donald Trump. His daughter is making millions of dollars campaigning against Donald Trump. This is the exact type of situation where a judge needs to recuse himself because he cannot possibly be impartial. When Trump's lawyers asked the judge to recuse himself, he refused, and he said that his daughter and his personal donations to Joe Biden did not require him to step aside. So the judge...
I mean, I would argue that they do. You see MSNBC is having a melty. The good, Judge Merchan will still uphold Trump's felony convictions. He's not going to. The bad, Trump won't be held accountable for his crime for years, if ever. The ugly, the majority of this country doesn't care. Nobody cared in the first place. Okay, this whole trial was an absolute joke. You can see the corrupt judge overseeing the hush money hoax against Trump just suspended the sentencing date. Even crooked Merchan knows they can't jail Trump at all. Bragg's office now has to file a brief explaining why the case should even proceed, which they're not going to do. I mean, here, Bloomberg is reporting the court has just postponed any decision in the Trump case in Manhattan. This is now the longest performance of Hamlet in history as Judge Merchan continues to debate whether or not to be a sentencing judge in the Trump case. Here, I mean, the whole thing, you know, this is a courtroom drama nobody needs. Judge Merchan needs to just wrap up his election interference case, according to Kyle Becker. I mean, what's wild about this is it's over. You know, zero hedge. His sentencing is adjourned, court says. Many of the replies, it just proves the lawfare was trying to interfere with him getting elected by the Democrats. Well, then if there's not final judgment, Trump is not a felon. Certifiable proof that it was all political to try to get him to lose or drop out. He has to go after these people when he's in office. I mean, I would agree with all of that. These people are absolutely bonkers. And also with this development and Merchan now canceling his sentencing hearing next week in New York, it may be that Donald Trump lawyers are working on a global resolution to all cases, as our sage Kingmaker suggested a few weeks ago. You see in Georgia, state of appeals, what does McAdoo crew think of this? So they may just be moving to get them all adjourned all at once, is what people are really saying here. Merchan is corrupt. Most of these people, like Letitia James, corrupt. Your Bob Cushman, corrupt judge Juan Merchan and his daughter have been caught in serious corruption involving millions of federal dollars. Uh-oh.
It is 10 a.m. in New York City, and we've got a ruling based on the...
Merchan is a crooked appointed judge. I wanted to grab this story here from the Gateway Pundit. You see this story. Earlier this month, Merchan passed on his ruling in President Trump's New York lawfare case. Fox News reported here.
It is 10 a.m. in New York City, and we've got a ruling based on the Associated Press saying this a moment ago. The judge has delayed a ruling on whether or not to dismiss President-elect Donald Trump's criminal conviction. These are 34 counts that came in at the end of May 30th. And the former president's been fighting it ever since. And the judge is going to sentence him prior to the election, then delayed it.
So he originally delayed it back in August or whenever this was. Alvin Bragg alleged Trump committed fraud because the payment was labeled as legal fees. This was complete nonsense. No one has ever in the history been indicted or convicted for such a bogus charge. But we are talking about the cesspool that is New York, and we are talking the communist left. President Trump's lawyers repeatedly demanded Merchan recuse himself over conflicts of interest. His daughter, Lauren Merchan, who runs a political firm and made tens of millions of dollars off of her father's case against Trump. The entire case was a setup against Trump. At some point, Judge Merchan and Alvin Bragg need to be investigated on this egregious abuse of the legal system. And I would agree with that. I would agree with that. This is, of course, their final, desperation, every bit of wicked lawfare was fake. All this stuff. We now see the presidential race. Trump's victory have thrown the timeline for court proceedings into question. This is going away. Trump beat it. It was never, the case should be dismissed. The jury voted to acquit on November 5th. Three things need to happen here. Trump needs to appeal to the Supreme Court to dismiss the case. 2, impeach Merchan. 3, disbar Bragg. Now they're probably all panicking. They're panicking about what retribution they may face now that this gamble failed. And I think they should be panicking. And I think that they should face retribution. I think that they absolutely, positively should be very, very worried. Very, very worried. Because what they did was corrupt. So congratulations, Trump, on yet another victory. I hope you enjoyed this video. If you did, make sure you leave a like on it. Don't forget, tailgatesfortrump.com. Get your Christmas cookbooks now. They start shipping next week, Monday. You don't want to miss out. We've got a limited window here to sell them. I hope you enjoyed. We'll talk to you again real soon.